Ever feel like life's just throwing everything it can at you?
Yeah.
One thing after another goes wrong, and you start to wonder, can I actually start over from all of this?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what we're diving into today,
Okay.
this Reddit thread where this person, Jacina, she's 42 years old, and she's asking the internet, how old is too old to start over?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, she's had a rough year.
Yeah.
Lost her job, hurricane damage to her house, car accident,
Oh, wow.
family tragedy, even had to say goodbye to her dog.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it really is. What really stands out to me about Jacina's post is how she's describing this whole cascade of events. She's calling it her annus horribilis.
Annus horribilis.
Yeah, which is actually, it's a Latin phrase. Queen Elizabeth II used it
Oh, right.
to describe her own, really difficult year back in 1992.
Okay.
Basically means a year of disasters or misfortunes.
Yeah.
And psychologically speaking, going through multiple setbacks like this in a short time, it can really amplify these feelings of hopelessness.
Makes starting over seem almost impossible.
Right. So it's really like when it rains, it pours. But taken to the extreme. So what was the internet's response?
You know what? The response was overwhelmingly positive.
Really?
A resounding, yes, you can,
Oh, wow.
echoed throughout the entire thread.
That's fantastic.
People in their 50s, 60s, even 70s sharing these personal stories of how they reinvented themselves later in life and found success and fulfillment.
That's so heartening to hear because I think
Yeah.
it's easy to get caught up in societal expectations of what we should have accomplished by a certain age.
Absolutely.
So what were some of those inspiring stories that people shared?
Well, one that really stuck with me was from a user named The Incredible Mike.
Okay.
He shared that after 22 years at the same company,
Wow.
he was laid off.
Oof.
But he didn't panic. Instead, he took it as an opportunity to switch gears completely.
Wow.
Became a trucker for a while.
Okay.
And then at 55, he became a licensed vocational nurse.
That is a major career shift.
Yeah.
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 And he's been happily working as a nurse for 15 years now.
That's incredible.
I
What
believe.
prompted that decision to go into nursing, especially later in life?
Well, he actually touched on something that a lot of people in the thread were mentioning, transferable skills.
Right.
He realized even though his old job was gone, all those skills he'd built up over the years, things like attention to detail, organization, problem solving, those are super valuable in healthcare.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really important takeaway
Yeah.
for anyone considering a career change. You might have more transferable skills than you realize.
That is so true. Sometimes we get so focused on that specific job title
Right.
that we forget about those underlying skills that we've developed that could apply to something totally different.
Exactly.
It reminds me of Mary Kay Ash,
Oh, yeah.
who founded Mary Kay Cosmetics at 45, built a multi-million-dollar empire.
Wow.
Talk about a late bloomer, right? It seems like age really is just a number when it comes to pursuing something new. Absolutely it is. It's about recognizing those skills and looking at the job market, which is always changing
Yeah.
with fresh eyes. And speaking of, there was another user, WildX Vegan,
Okay.
who shared their experience of transitioning from IT to becoming a paramedic at 42.
Wow. Another big change.
Huge change, yeah. They were honest about the challenges. They said the work was tiring, not exactly the best paying, but emphasized the satisfaction of it.
There you go. Job satisfaction is priceless.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about finding the highest paying job, but the one that aligns with your values,
Right.
gives you that purpose. Did anyone else have any particularly striking story about starting over later in life?
Well, someone actually brought up the example of a 100-year-old Home Depot cashier
What?
who was still working because they just loved interacting with people.
Oh, I love that.
It really highlights how our expiration date for pursuing work or passions isn't set in stone.
Total.
You know,
Okay, so the overall message from Reddit is pretty clear. It's never too late.
never too late.
But let's be realistic. Jacina's going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to offer encouragement, but how do you actually put that into action
Yeah.
when you're feeling overwhelmed and defeated?
That's where resilience comes in.
Okay.
It's not about ignoring the hardship, pretending everything is fine.
Right.
It's about acknowledging the difficulties and finding that strength to move forward.
So it's not about being emotionless or stoic.
Right, exactly. It's about experiencing the full range of emotions. The grief, the fear, the frustration, but not letting them paralyze you.
Mm.
It's a dynamic process.
Okay.
It involves internal things like our mindset and coping skills,
Okay.
but also external factors like our support systems and the resources that are available to us.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't always control what life throws at you, but you can control how you respond.
Yeah.
So how do we cultivate that?
Hmm.
Especially when we're like dealing with those annus horribilis moments.
Yeah. Well, one of the first steps is recognizing and challenging negative thought patterns.
Okay.
It's really easy when you're facing setbacks, to fall into a spiral of self-doubt,
Yeah.
thinking like, I'm too old, it's too late for me. But research actually shows that actively reframing those thoughts can make a huge difference.
Okay, so instead of getting stuck in that, why me?
Right.
It's about shifting to, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger?
Exactly. And that ties into another big part of resilience,
Okay.
self-care.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
And this isn't just about like bubble baths and face masks,
Right.
although those can be great.
Sure.
It's about prioritizing your physical and mental well-being, especially during times of stress.
Mm-hmm.
It means, getting enough sleep,
Mm.
eating nutritious food, moving your body,
Mm.
doing things that bring you joy. It's all about replenishing your reserves so you have the energy to keep going.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. You got to take care of yourself first.
No, right.
Right.
Yeah,
Before you can effectively tackle those challenges or even help others.
absolutely. And that's where having a strong support system becomes super important.
Yeah.
Whether it's family, friends, a therapist, even online communities.
Yeah.
Connecting with other people who understand what you're going through can be incredibly helpful.
Right.
Sharing your struggles, seeking advice, it reminds you that you're not alone.
I think even just knowing that others have been through something similar and come out the other side
Yeah,
can be so empowering.
absolutely. And sometimes professional help from a therapist or a counselor can give you additional coping mechanisms and strategies for navigating these times. Don't underestimate seeking guidance from people who are trained to help you build that resilience.
No shame in asking for help.
No,
In
no.
fact, it's a sign of strength.
Yeah, and self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about challenging negative thoughts, prioritizing self-care, leaning on support systems.
Right.
What else contributes to building resilience?
Another big factor is having a sense of purpose.
Okay.
This could be anything. A passion project, commitment to a cause, a desire to like make a difference in your community.
Yeah.
Having something that gives you meaning motivates you.
Yeah.
It can give you a sense of direction, especially when you're feeling lost.
Okay, so having that bigger picture goal
Yeah.
can help you stay focused and positive even when you're facing like those day-to-day struggles.
Exactly. And purpose doesn't have to be some grand world-changing thing.
Right.
It could be as simple as wanting to be a supportive friend or a loving parent,
Yeah.
reliable coworker, It's about finding what truly matters to you,
Right.
aligning your actions with your values.
Okay, so identifying what gives your life meaning and letting that guide your decisions, especially when you're facing those should I start over moments.
Absolutely. And remember, resilience isn't a fixed trait.
Okay.
It's a skill we can learn and strengthen.
Okay.
Just like, learning to play an instrument or speak a new language.
Right.
Building resilience takes time, effort, and practice.
So it's not about like being born resilient, but about consciously developing that muscle over time.
Precisely. And it's an ongoing process.
Okay.
There will always be challenges in life.
Right.
But with each one we overcome, we add to our resilience toolkit, making us better equipped to face the next one.
I love that. It's empowering to know that we can actively work towards becoming more resilient,
Yes.
regardless of our past experiences.
Absolutely.
So what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Yeah.
How can they apply all of this to their own lives?
Well, it seems like the overarching message is that resilience is something we build, not something we're just born with.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So how can people actually, start building that muscle? Are there specific exercises or techniques they can use?
Yeah, absolutely. One technique that has tons of research backing it up is mindfulness.
Okay.
It's about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's kind of like hitting the pause button on all those racing thoughts and worries.
Right.
And just tuning in to what's happening right here, right now.
So instead of getting swept away by anxieties about the future or dwelling on past regrets.
Right.
Mindfulness is about grounding yourself in the present.
Exactly. And there are a bunch of different ways to practice mindfulness.
Okay.
Meditation is a popular one, but it can also be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, noticing the sensations in your body,
Okay.
or really focusing on the taste of your food when you're eating.
It sounds almost deceptively simple, but I can see how regularly taking those mindful moments could really help reduce stress and bring a sense of calm. Are there other benefits to practicing mindfulness?
Oh, yeah, tons. Studies show that mindfulness can help reduce anxiety, improve focus, even boost emotional regulation.
Wow.
It's like training your mind to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting totally carried away by them.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Especially when you're feeling overwhelmed or dealing with those really difficult emotions. It's like giving yourself that space to process things
I see.
without spiraling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, so mindfulness is one tool for our resilience toolkit. What else can we add?
Another super powerful practice is gratitude.
Okay.
It's about actively focusing on the good things in your life, even when things are hard.
Yeah.
It might sound kind of cheesy, but it's really about shifting your attention to the things that you appreciate, no matter how big or small.
I can see how that could be really helpful because when you're in that negative headspace, it's easy to only see the bad stuff.
Right.
So gratitude is almost like a way to retrain your brain to see the positive, even when you're facing those challenges.
Exactly. And there's actually a lot of research on this too. Studies show that practicing gratitude can increase happiness, reduce stress, improve sleep,
Wow.
even strengthen relationships.
Those are some serious benefits. So how do you suggest people actually practice gratitude?
One simple way is to keep a gratitude journal.
Okay.
Just take a few minutes each day to write down a few things you're thankful for. Could be as simple as a sunny day or a delicious meal,
Right.
a kind gesture from a stranger even. You could also try expressing gratitude directly to people.
Right.
Tell someone you appreciate them, maybe write a thank you note, or even just reflect on all those people who really enrich your life.
It sounds like it's just a small mindset shift, but it could have a huge impact on your overall outlook.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got mindfulness, gratitude. Anything else we should add to our resilience routine?
One more key ingredient is self-compassion.
Self-compassion, okay.
It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that everybody makes mistakes. Everybody faces challenges.
Yeah.
You're not alone in this.
I think this is so crucial,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to start over or bounce back from a setback.
Right.
It's so easy to fall into that trap of self-criticism and blame.
Right, but that just makes things worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Self-compassion is about acknowledging that you're worthy of love and support, even when you mess up.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that we're all human, with our flaws and imperfections, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to be perfect to be worthy of that kindness,
Right.
especially from ourselves.
Exactly. And when you practice self-compassion, you're creating this more supportive environment within yourself, which makes it easier to bounce back from challenges and keep moving forward.
Okay, so to recap, we've got mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion as those key ingredients for building resilience. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners today?
Just remember, you're stronger than you think. You've already overcome so many challenges in your life. You have the inner resources to navigate this too. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Those are powerful words of encouragement. It's a reminder that we all have that inner strength, and it's something we can cultivate and really draw upon, especially during those tough times.
And remember, starting over isn't about erasing the past or pretending like those challenges never happened.
Right.
It's about integrating those experiences into your story and using them as fuel for growth.
It's about taking the lessons learned, the wisdom gained, and the strength that you've developed and carrying those forward. I think that's a perfect note to end on. To our listeners, we hope this deep dive provided you with some insights and some practical tools for building resilience and embracing new beginnings. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We all face challenges, but we also all have the power to overcome them and create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling.